Hey there, shaker makers, it's Demo Donna here with Queen & Company, and you're in for a treat today because I am showing you some tips and techniques, and we're not gonna make a shaker. Can you believe it? You're still gonna end up with an awesome card. I'm actually showing you two cards. We are using foundation die number 9. We're also gonna be using the border dies, the on point borders, as well as the foundation die number 1 circle and scallop circle. And I am using the support sentiment stackers. And the first card that I'm going to be showing you is this card right here. And just so you guys can see it in another color palette, the Facebook Live on Queen & Company, you can go rewatch it. We did this one right there. So the rainbow one was on the Facebook Live, and we're doing this one here today. And then I'm also going to show you how to create this awesome card. So thank you guys so much for watching, and comment below if you learned something new. I look forward to reading all of your comments. Enjoy! So I am going to be using the on point borders, and I'm going to show you guys an incredible trick that's going to help you and make it very easy to use all of the great border dies from Queen & Company. And what I'm going to do is I have cut out, this is a 5.5 by 2.5 black cardstock. And the key to making this nice and simple is just lined paper. So I am going to want to use the scalloped edge for my black. And what you want to do is just use your lined paper as a guide. So for instance, I see this line here, and if following the line across is a little too difficult, you can go ahead and highlight every other one. And that is even on both sides. You could take your washi tape to adhere that down if that works best for you. The first sample that I did, I actually just sandwiched it in and ran it through. Now I'm going to go ahead and run that through. So now that you have done side number 1, I am going to carefully remove my washi tape. Okay, and for side number 2, so I've got the first one down, and then I am just going to make sure these are nice and even for the second one. So just eyeball it there. I've got it a little higher. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as you can see, I'm using this line as my guide right here, and I'm just coming down like about 1/8 of an inch on each side. And now I'm just going to sandwich that in, hold tight, and run through. And now you could see you have a very cool customized little background that I'm going to be using on my card. And as you can see, like, the possibilities for making custom size cutouts is really endless. So I'm going to set that aside, and I am going to repeat this technique with the flat lined edge. So for the second piece I'm going to be cutting out, this is a 5.5 by 2 inch piece of cardstock. And again, I'm going to make sure that that is placed nice and straight. And then I'm going to start with, now I've ran this through my die cut machine a few times, so. And here I'm repeating the same process with the white cardstock. And now you can see you have a really cool piece of white cardstock that we are going to use to layer inside of this piece here. So like I said, you can make customized paper cutouts for all of your card and paper craft needs with really cool edges with the border dies. So we discarded the first one, but for this card, you are actually going to use this piece, and we are going to use it as a tool onto where to lay our flowers. So I'm going to keep that little piece of lined paper. Okay, so I've taken red liner tape and I've adhered it to the back of the lined paper that we are going to be using a little bit as our guide as to where to apply our flowers. So I'm just gonna simply take this and I'm centering it on my card base. So this is an A2 size card, and just lay that there. Since I hand cut this, if any of your card is, if any of that paper, I mean, is hanging over, just trim that off. There we go. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take red liner tape and I am going to frame this with my red liner tape. So as you can see, I did the first strip, then I took the backing off, and now I just layered on the second strip. Trim whatever is hanging over your card, and then remove and repeat on the other side. Okay, so now I've got my red liner on both sides, and I went ahead and pre-cut my flowers and some leaves. I wasn't quite sure what color combination I wanted to use, so I cut out a bunch. And that is all from the Support Sentiment Stacker set and foundation die number 9. And now what I'm going to do is we are going to be doing more of like a random versus the rainbow that you've seen in the past. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick my flowers on. And now I am going to be adding and layering the gray and yellow flowers, and then I'm also going to be throwing in some of the beautiful sprigs and leaves included in this fantastic foundation die number 9, and I'm just making sure everything is stuck to the red liner tape. All right, so now that I have my really cool little flower background, I'm simply going to take this beautiful piece here and I'm going to adhere that by, again, using a little red liner tape, and just go ahead and place this right over my flowers here. Trim off your hangover flowers. And it is much easier to do from the back like I'm doing here. We'll leave that guy. All right, so now that I have layered this beautiful card using our really cool die cut that we created with the borders, we are now gonna add in our stamp stain and our cutout and our stacker. I'm gonna stamp out my thanks for your. There we go. Now, ideally, I should have actually stamped that before I glued it down, but it'll do. It actually turned out just fine. And now we are gonna add our sentiment stackers right underneath. Okay, now that I've got support cut out, I wanted to show you guys a quick trick I learned from yesterday's video to just fold it in half and pop that out. That makes it so much easier. And now I'm just gonna layer my support on top of the black shadow. And now when my red liner tape is going over the edges, I simply just fold it and stick it on itself in a little area like that. And then I'm just gonna add a couple drops of sheer glue just to make sure my words are adhered. But I don't want to do too much liquid adhesive because I don't want to curl my paper. There we go. So the combination of the sheer glue and the red liner tape will hold this down nicely. Stick that on. And now I've got a thanks for your support. And we're just going to add these little flowers. I actually think they're perfect behind the Gerber Daisies because they don't have any of the stitching. So they actually make for a very sweet little background. And I'm just gonna add a couple dots of sheer glue. I'm going to be using the white daisies from the Gerber Daisy bundle. And to adhere those, I am just gonna take, again, a little bit of sheer glue. I just did a couple drops. And you do want to, it's wet adhesive, so you can see it moving. You do wanna just give it a little bit of pressure for a couple of seconds. All right, and there we go. And I added in a couple of the blue leaves because from the amazing pearl bundle, these are such great colors and I wanted to incorporate some into my card. All right, there we go. We've completed our thanks for your support card. For card number 2, I'm going to be using foundation die number 1, the circles and the scallop circle. And to get started, all you need to do is trace the circle on your card with a pencil. And then I cut out using the solid support paper pad. I cut out the yellow, gray, blue, and green. And then I also did my sentiment stacker. And here are your die cuts. I did the circle with a black cardstock with the scalloped edge and a white circle, and I stamped hugs from me to you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it really quick so you can see the final product. And I am spreading adhesive all over the card and then throwing on my little leaves in the 4 different colors, and now I'm gonna go over it with some more adhesive, throw on the beautiful sprigs layered on top of my leaves, and attach my black scallop circle, attach my white circle, the hug sentiment, add a couple more little sprigs, and then of course embellish with the pearls. And there you go, 2 different cards using pretty much the same supplies except for the foundation die number 1 for the circles and the scallop circles, and the really cool technique I taught you guys using the on point borders. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.